And is it fair to say, like, I don't want to stereotype, but usually it's like guys who lead the relationship. And this has like so much history into it.
Yeah.
You know, like men are breadwinners and therefore like they get most of the say and women kind of just follow around.
I think it was the case. I think it's becoming less and less so because there's a lot of feminist movements where people are saying, okay, you know, we got to have equality in everything, right? In jobs and pay. So that kind of translates into relationships too.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I feel like the core issue there isn't even because, you know, it's a man thing. It's a gender role that men have to be the leaders of relationships. I think the core issue there is that the men were the breadwinners and therefore they had the dough, they had the money. Because you can control, you know, what they spend, what they buy.
Yeah.
So I think money is an important factor here.
Okay, so like for this episode, let's like limit our conversation to like the relationship. Okay, let's not touch on, you know, if you're married and stuff because we don't have
of course,
any experience there. On the lighter side, like for example, gender roles can be, you know, usually the guy pays for the date, the guy drives, the women, I guess, plan. Like they're the planners. You know, where do you want to go today? What do we do today? So like what else is there?
Well, I think, like, for example, the men, they want to feel like men. I mean, I know it sounds very basic, but basically they don't want to feel like they can't do those things, they can't provide. I feel like a man feels insecure when he cannot, you know, do what you just mentioned, what society deems normal for a man, when he starts to feel useless as a man. And women are becoming more and more independent, and that suddenly starts to become a struggle. So I'm going to touch up on one thing, okay, which is the gender role of relationships. Many times for men, they start to feel emasculated.
Yeah.
Okay, why? Because first, maybe the woman is not making the man feel like a man. She's kind of like, example, she could be a tomboy. So she's very, you know, tough, right? She doesn't need like sweet affection. She doesn't need to be baby talked. So already that's like, you know, it sets a different dynamic in the relationship. Then you have moments where maybe the woman makes more money than the man.
Yeah.
And that also can make a man insecure. So in that instance, in the examples I'm giving, the woman is in charge. She is the head of the relationship. She has all the say.
Yeah.
So what to do in a relationship like that? Well, I guess what I would do, for example, is I would find, or at least I would fill a role in which needs filling. So the woman can't do everything, right? So let's say, okay, we're not going to touch up on marriage, but I'm just going to bring it up lightly. Let's say if the woman is the breadwinner in the house, then it shouldn't be deemed bad if the dad is the one who raises the kids. I think it should be socially acceptable and it should be...
Yeah, I think that's very common now anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's something that should be acceptable. Anyway, and well, that's just one example where I feel like the woman is in charge. Now, what about when the man is in charge?
On the light side, it's usually when it's like the guy controls the whole relationship in a way that he can say, like, for example, you can't wear these kinds of clothes or you're not allowed to go with your friends. You know, he's basically like in general dominant. So it's like wherever he goes, I'll just follow. If he wants to go here, okay, we'll go here. If he wants to watch this movie, okay, we'll watch this movie.
I think the most important thing is to give the other person the opportunity to show their strengths. I think that's the most important thing.
If you guys want to check out the full episode, click the link on the screen or head on over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever podcasts are available. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.